Hello, hello, and welcome back to Tell Your Dog We Said Hi. I am Jamie Shellington, and with me today are my wonderful friends, colleagues, and co-hosts, Karen Barlow and Jen Russell. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hello.
Hey. We have a really wonderful show today. Um, One of the main reasons we put this together for our local community is so that we can highlight some of the local treasures, businesses, professionals, and other tidbits that can only be found in this area that really deserve the spotlight here or there. So, especially obviously related to dogs. So, today we are going to be spending some time talking about a local little hidden gem that some people know about, but I don't think enough people know about. It is KB's Canine Playground, which is owned and operated by our very own Karen Barlow. Before I pass it over to Karen, I'm going to just kind of do a little intro about it, that it is not a dog park in the traditional sense of the word. It's not a public space where everyone goes at the same time at any time. So this is a little bit different. It benefits everyone in the community. It's something that I have used personally. It's something that I recommend everyone use. Most of my clients use it as well.
Mhm.
And so we're going to kind of break down what it is, where it is, how you can be a part of it, how you can use it for your dog, and why it's such a special place. So, Karen, I am going to pass this over to you now. Tell us
Okay.
a little bit about how the playground came to be and what it's all about.
Well, actually, I'm going to throw you under the
You're throwing
bus
me under the bus.
because you and I used to talk about it during when I helped you out with your sessions over there at Vixen Hall. We
Yep.
talked about having a place for reactive dogs or dogs that didn't like other dogs, having a place for them to go be a dog, like a dog park, but not at a dog park. And
Right.
I had the property and just
I had
decided to
the
do it.
persistence to nag you.
Yes, you nagged me enough that I finally did it.
It worked.
I was like, hey, I have some property. Why not use it? So 2 years ago, I put a fence up. It's all but an acre fenced in, and there's a privacy fence on two sides, and then an open fence on the other two. So it's all enclosed. Has a double entrance, so you can, dogs can't get out, in case someone opens the door, which they shouldn't because it should only be you. But if you open the gate, your dogs can't escape in that. So, and yeah, there's different things in there for them to do. You can try agility in that. There's a big open space for them to run down at the bottom so they can just run, 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 run. Lots of sniff places and things like that. So
And digging
that's
pits as well,
yes,
and
digging pits.
foraging
Yes.
stations. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And there is no water. You bring your own water and that. So people bring their own water bowls and that. Uh you pick
Which
up
is
after
smart.
yourself.
It's smart
Y-
because you don't want a communal watering hole.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I,
Right.
I appreciate that very much.
Yep. Yeah. 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 And there's bags there for the poop bags, place to put the poop bags and all that. So you don't have to put it back in your car or anything like that. So you clean up after your dogs and, just generally you come, you're there by yourself, no other dogs, no one, no other people around, and you're there for an hour. You rent the space and your dog can be off leash. You can work on things if you want recall. I love working on recall anytime. Um, but you do what you want for an hour. Let your dog be a dog. It's
It's
what it's
great.
for.
I think it's
So
worth noting that it is in a rural area, so there
yes,
are really no neighbors other than the one that's a little bit away on the other side of the privacy fence. Otherwise, it
right.
really is cornfields and quiet,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
really nice.
Well, and you get the horse and buggies going by. You get the manure spreaders when they go by and things.
Yummy.
But it gives it gives the
You know,
dog
your
something to
typical
chase.
day in
Yeah,
Typical
Southern
day
yeah.
in
Chester
Amish
County.
country, people. What do you expect? You're Chester County and Lancaster
But
County.
if need be, you could work on that with your dog. I mean,
Yep.
a lot
For
of the
sure.
people who come out there enjoy it because their dogs get to run.
Yeah.
They can chase them. You know they're not going to get out to get on the road or anything. So
And
it
So,
gets some of
Karen,
their energy out, is what it does.
if I were to sign up and come out with my
Mhm.
dog, then and you said there's no other people around, do you have a buffer between, clientele coming and using the
Yes.
playground?
Yes, there's a 15-minute buffer each way.
That's
You
brilliant.
have,
nice.
yeah, there, so 30 minutes in between. So you have a
Nice.
15-minute buffer leaving and a 15-minute buffer to get there.
That's
And that,
excellent.
yes.
That's
Mhm.
Yep.
excellent. That's so
Mhm.
good.
So,
And I
yeah.
think it's worth noting as well that when you get into that space, you don't realize how big it is until you're
Yeah.
actually in there. It is huge. So,
Yeah.
short of, a, a 4 acre area and losing your dog. And it's like the perfect amount of space where your dog can run and be a dog, but you don't have to feel like you have to chase after them if they're not good off leash.
Yeah, exactly. You don't think an acre's big till
It's
you're in
big.
there, till your dog's in there running.
Yeah.
And like you said, 4 or 5 acres fenced in, you're going to go
Oops.
chase your dog if they don't have a good
Oops.
recall.
You're right. And it's lit too. So
Yes, yes, it has lights.
that
Yes.
is
Yep.
incredible for this time of year when it's 4:30 and it's dark and people are not
Yep.
off of work yet
Hmm.
or before it gets light in the, later in the morning.
Yeah, and if when people schedule like early in the morning, I'll flip the lights on for them, and I'll flip them on at night when people are coming.
That's
So,
awesome.
so it's well lit for them, and
That's
that.
awesome.
So, yeah, and it's amazing the difference that it makes. Even I'll take my dogs down there, and when the lights are on, it's just different for them.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Oh
So,
yeah. No, it's I'm going to probably say it a few times. It truly is a gem in this area because there
mhm.
aren't, I don't know of any other spaces at this point like what you have.
Not
Um,
local.
no, there was such a need for it. Um,
Hmm.
and it benefits anybody with a dog. And I think that that's the
Hmm.
important piece too. Like we talked about it because of our work with, sensitive dogs, reactive dogs,
Hmm.
dogs that had some fear issues,
Yeah.
and needing to have a space that we knew someone wasn't just going to come upon the park and come in
Hmm.
or something like that, because that
Hmm.
that can be extremely detrimental to the process and the progress that we're making with our dogs,
Hmm.
the dog in question, or even pose a big safety risk. So
Yes.
having
Hmm.
public dog parks and trying to use them can be really dangerous as opposed
Hmm.
to, or frustrating even, as opposed to
Yeah.
this space. But
Hmm.
anybody, I mean, people that don't have fenced in backyards or people that just want to get
Hmm.
their dog out, who maybe don't want to go for a walk, or maybe they
Hmm.
they just want to let their dog be a dog in a new space, or they want they want to have a play date with another dog and they don't have
Yes.
a fenced in space to go, but they
Hmm.
don't want other people's dogs to be a part of the play date. The
Hmm.
Honestly, this benefits anybody with a dog. It really does.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. There's quite a few people that bring their dog and then another dog with them for play dates and that. Yeah.
yeah,
So.
I mean, I think it's wonderful as a meeting point, or again,
Hmm.
a lot of people don't have fenced in backyards and that can
Right.
make it really difficult to navigate play dates outside on leash. That's a safety risk for all involved.
Hmm.
So, and you don't necessarily want to let your dogs off leash if they're not contained potentially. I mean, I live right on 896, so if I didn't have a fenced in backyard, semis are going down, 40 feet from my house at 45 miles an hour. It is a safety risk. So,
Yeah.
I have a physical
Hmm.
fence, but if I
Hmm.
didn't,
And a
I
lot
would
of
need
dogs
a
don't do
place.
well on leash anyway. So, greetings on leash and playing on leash
Right.
Right.
can be a real issue for some dogs. So the
Hmm.
fact that, that this is just
Hmm.
another location where sometimes just taking a leash off a dog
Oh,
becomes, feels more social and less reactive in their own,
hmm.
because it's a little bit more autonomy on their side. But
Yep.
um, for sure, I think that that is a huge benefit. We have a lot of clients, like clientele out here that do not have fenced in yards because
Yeah.
we still live in an area that offers space.
Right.
Where your Delaware County is a little bit more of a postage stamp. And before anybody says anything, I'm from Delco. So yes, I know.
Well, we did the
I'm
handshake.
allowed to say it. Hold my hoops. I'm from Delco. I grew up in Delco, and yeah, so I'm a Chesco transplant. That's what we're called. But so Delco transplant and Chesco. But yeah, I mean, we have so much space, but a lot of locations where you're moving into now actually prohibit you from putting up a fence.
Yeah.
So
Yes, exactly.
you have that
Hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
But even if you're looking to bring a new member of the family in and you're looking to adopt a dog, even putting that on your application, I do not have a fenced-in yard, but I do have a resource like this to
Hmm.
take my dog.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
that's huge for exercise and for, safety.
I
Yep.
don't think people realize just what it means to a dog to be off leash,
Oh my
to
God.
run as fast as they want, run where they want, do what they want, sniff where they want without someone being on the other end of the leash.
Mhm.
I get a lot of that from the people that actually use it. They're like, oh my God, that was the first time my dog's been off leash like that. And it's just, they went crazy.
I mean, living
It's
living
huge.
your life on a 6 foot leash, can you even imagine? I mean, the
No.
restriction and the lack of autonomy, like both of you are
Mhm.
saying. I mean, it's a breeding ground for frustration in
Yeah.
general. So having full autonomy, the ability to choose where to sniff, what to do, I'm going to dig this, I'm going to climb this, I'm going to chew on this, and I'm going to chase that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
which I know you have.
There's a sensory garden, I mean, I've had people say, "Hey, my dog dug a hole down there," and I'm like, "That's what it's for. I can
Yeah,
fix it." You
right.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
literally.
Well, and I
So,
think that the amount of interesting smells from the other
oh
visiting
yeah.
dogs that have been there, along
Hmm.
with just the different things that you put out there,
Hmm.
you add and switch and move, and
Yep.
it keeps things interesting. And it's things that they don't have in their own backyards or neighborhoods.
Right.
So it just makes it so enriching and engaging and again, stimulating for them that an hour of doing that is better than any hour walk around a neighborhood or
Yeah.
the same loop that they do every single day. So it's a special
I, I love I
job.
love when the clients send the pictures of their dogs sleeping when they get
Right?
home or
Yeah.
on the ride home. They're like,
Yep.
"Yep, that worked."
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah, you've got regulars, right? You've got people that use
yes.
it
Mhm.
almost just routinely weekly, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. They book it, once or twice a week. Yeah. People are
Yeah.
taking advantage of the 5 sessions because it's a better price
Oh,
than
tell
that.
us, yeah,
So
tell the listeners about that.
if you book, you could sign up for 5 sessions, and each hour that you reserve is $25. If you reserve 5 spots, then it's $100. And you book the first spot, and then you let me know when you want to book the other ones, and I reserve it for you.
Nice.
So, yeah, yep,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, I have a Friday night regular, you know,
Yeah.
and then couple and then there's like usually 1 or 2 days through the week where someone just they're five, hey, book me for this every Monday
Yeah.
and that. So yeah.
Well, that could be
Yeah.
a fun date night.
Right?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Honey,
Ooh,
we're gonna go
mhm,
drink
really,
wine at KB's and the dogs are gonna go play.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
For a girls'
yeah.
night or
Mind if I bring wine, Karen, to the case
You
to
know
the
what? It is fine. It is fine. So,
now I have to say I am an early to bed person usually. So I would be like the morning, let's have tea out at the picnic table with our
yep.
dogs. But I do a date like that. Friend date.
Yeah, there are picnic tables there, so I mean, it's not like you have to get up and wander around where your dog is. You
Right.
can see everything right there, so
Yeah,
you can sit and have your coffee.
I love it. It's a great way to start the
do you
day.
allow clients to bring, or people that rent the space, are they allowed to bring treats for their dogs and things like that?
Yes.
You just ask to
Yes.
try to clean up as much stuff just because you don't
Yes.
want that stuff laying around.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And
Just that's all I ask. Clean up
They
after
probably
yourself,
don't
and
even
and
need
it's
to.
been really good. People do.
good.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I mean, can
honestly,
we just say the difference between that and dog parks too is that you're
oh,
going somewhere and it's like, oh my gosh, no one's picking up versus a well-maintained, there's not,
yeah.
there isn't, a field of landmines that you have to be concerned about for multiple reasons. And
And
it's
I keep the
really,
grass mowed.
you can also take
right.
some
That's
time
huge.
off too. I feel like at in I guess a typical dog park, you really do have to watch. You have to really
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
really need to be very, and no, I'm not saying you shouldn't watch your dog when they're at the playground either, but
Mhm.
you are there. That is your space. That is your time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your dog's allowed to dig and to sniff and
Yes.
to run and do all the things that he or she might not be able to do or have the space to do
Mhm.
at a local dog park.
Right.
And you are safe at the
You don't
playground
have to be on
where
high alert.
exactly, exactly. And I
So,
mean, I always tell my clients, listen, I trust you. I trust myself, but I don't know the general population that goes to dog
yes.
parks. I don't know
Hmm.
how, their dogs would interact. I don't know anything about their
Right.
dogs. And so when we are renting space, if I have a cohesive group of friends that,
Hmm.
all of our dogs get along, I don't have to worry about other dogs coming in trying to join. And as sweet as that could be, I want to avoid dog fights. I want to avoid,
Right.
people just, generally coming in. And I know it's a public space, but yours is private enough that, I'm taking my time and I have dedicated time there, and that's my space for that
Yeah.
amount of time. And
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
takes a lot of
that
pressure off. It
it
really
does.
It
does.
does.
It
Yeah.
really
It
does.
does.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
is. At dog parks, we're trusting the safety of our dogs to someone we don't know and the knowledge that they may or may not have or think
Hmm.
they have around dog behavior, their dogs, and even if everyone seems to be happy or everyone has the best of intentions and one dog is good with dogs, another dog is good with, it doesn't mean that they're going to be good together.
Hmm.
It really doesn't. So
Yep.
it's always a risk. It is always a
Yep.
risk for in those situations. So yeah,
Hmm.
I wouldn't have to worry about seeing my dogs there, knowing the friends that are coming and we know the group or whatnot. It makes it much easier to not have to have your head on a swivel to see who's coming or
Yeah.
who's walking by, even. What dog
Yes.
is walking
Yeah.
by and barking as it's
Yeah.
walking by? My dog even
Hmm.
barks sometimes when it goes by. If a dog in the dog park is kind of running the fence, that'll stimulate her.
Hmm.
And so then she may bark on a bad day. And
Hmm.
and then that might send them to be agitated. So it just takes all of the guesswork out of it, which is really
Well,
nice.
the
Yeah.
environment is so different. And like you said, Jamie, stimulating. I mean, a park is very stimulating to a human.
Oh
You've
yeah.
got
Hmm.
kids playing, you've got people walking, you've got
Yeah.
a dog park, you have gardens, you have, there's just so much going on at a park at any given time, and you never
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what's going to be there. Bikes, wagons, it's like a conspiracy. Like
Yeah.
walking your dog, all of a sudden it's quiet, and then you turn around and literally like everybody has
Yeah.
come to the park because it's a day off, or it's a nice day, or it's
Hmm.
a cloudy day and nobody else thought anybody would be there.
Right.
um
Yeah.
so you make the playground as stimulating as you want for your dog, or as much as he or she
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah.
and you go with it. But at a park, you don't have that, you don't have the control as much.
Yeah.
And it's, it
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's a public
Hmm.
location versus a private location. And you,
Hmm.
you
Which has its own
you
functions for some people. And,
absolutely.
when I go to parks, I'll go and it's a working session for me for at least for one of my dogs, who's a little bit more sensitive overall. And so yeah, if I'm mentally there with her, if I want a mindless walk or a mindless experience where I don't have to do that and I can just let her go without having to worry about anything, then I usually the playground, or, I
Hmm.
might have one or two other places that I can go that no one goes, and that's about it. But yeah, those parks, those public settings are work. It's work.
Yeah.
It really
And
is.
and I think it makes it nice for people that have a sensitive dog. They don't have to, they can come and not worry about that,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah,
I love a
especially
park for
after
a
a
training
long day
session,
and you
but
just don't want to do
oh yeah.
anything, and you don't.
Yeah. I don't want to walk my dog, so I'm going to go take them to the playground, just let them run.
And this is not what this topic is about, but I am an extra sensitive person on this topic, on this subject. Being a woman who walks her dogs by herself at odd
Mhm.
hours in parks, I tend to be really sensitive. I have a lab and a golden retriever. They are very unassuming looking, so I don't feel like they have any form of deterrence to them. Like German Shepherd or a pit bull might or something. And I'm thinking, oh, I'll
Hmm.
have to get a less fluffy dog next time. But you don't have to worry about that at the playground. You rent the
No.
space, it's a residential home with
Hmm.
nothing around, and it's just a safe space to go. So, especially when it's dark in the morning, dark at night,
Yeah.
really early, there's that extra layer of safety from the humanist
Yeah.
that I actually appreciate very much.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
again, it's well lit. So
yeah.
if it is dark,
Yeah.
so
The only
it's
thing that
well lit.
surprised me there was a beautiful buck that came running through the cornfield once. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we get that a lot. I've had a lot of people say that deer
Yeah.
have run by, especially now that the corn's off. You
And
can
it's
see it.
rut. You got those
Yeah.
crazy bucks that are going through the middle of rut.
Yeah.
So, all
Yep.
right, both of you are really active in rescue. So, from a rescue perspective, I'd love to hear, thoughts about how that playground has been used, or even how it could be used, because that's another avenue for it.
Yeah, I have people that foster dogs and they bring them there because they don't want to risk it at a dog park or
Yeah,
somewhere where they could meet up with another dog. So they come use the space and
that's
that.
great.
So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, training at the rescue, it does help with the environmental pieces.
Mhm.
There's a lot going on some days, most days, but there's, always dogs around. There's, farm animals around, lots of people, machinery, other things depending on what they're working on. But if I wanted to get more information about a dog for an adopter, a potential adopter, even just for their pet finder page, being able to put a dog in the car gives us
Mhm.
information to get to the playground.
Yeah,
And then what the dog is like off site. And we've had many dogs who grow up at the rescue, and
yeah,
it is sometimes it's a sad thought. They're well loved and well cared for. We're never going to deny that, but it's hard
yeah,
on dogs that have been whelped there and
Yeah,
grown up
hmm,
in a location, and that's all they know.
yeah,
So being
yeah,
able to take a dog off site, just to get some more information on how they travel,
hmm,
how they do away from the farm and, away from the rescue. And that's always something that's good for potential adopters to say, hey, they did a great job on Southern Chester County back roads up and down, no puking.
yeah.
Uh, it's
True.
huge,
right,
huge. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had many a dog, and I usually throw a kid in the back seat, and I'm like, catch it, I'm driving.
right.
Now that they're old enough to drive themselves, I might have to be the one catching, and they can drive. And I guarantee you, they'll go up and down those roads nicely for mom's sake. But hey, um, I just think that, um, for again, dogs that don't do well with other dogs,
Hmm.
having the quiet and the peace and the safety of, we have large areas for the dogs to run at the rescue, but having a new space to go is
New.
nice.
Yeah.
And that one-on-one time
Mhm.
for, as long as we want to rent it for and to have that space with
Hmm.
them, to work in a quiet environment, to do some training work that, I have after it probably a solid 30 minutes of letting them explore,
Yep.
because it sounds like,
Yeah.
it would be like a straight fairground for them.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
just being able to give them the time to go and go dog, go do your thing, and
Yeah.
then do a little bit of work, and then for sure taking pictures of a very tired dog. I think that the fact that we can also direct adopters that this is a great location,
Yep.
locally. And even if
Mhm.
you're adopting outside of the area, driving back to the area for, just the location in itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, our whole area is just, it's beautiful and people comment on that all the time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But, if you
Yeah.
live far away, there is, something called sniff spot. So you
Yep.
could look for a location out in your area and
Yep.
still reap the same type of benefits.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
because again, having this private, safe area, clean area where you can have the autonomy of working with just your dog and having that safe place just for your dog, or a small group, if you
Yep.
have
Yeah.
a group of
Hmm.
friends that I like to have controlled play dates and things like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I like to direct my clients to do the same, suggest, direct, however you want to say it. But,
Hmm.
it's just, I think that's important. And I know that you have donated. So when we have our auctions at
Hmm.
Greenmore, you have donated gift certificates, and I hope people have
Hmm.
taken advantage of that and
Yeah.
have used it.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
it
they have.
good, good.
Hmm.
And I think that just the fact that people don't have to feel like they have to, the only exercise my dog can get is walking. The
Yeah.
only time that I can use the fenced in area is at a dog park.
Right.
Hmm.
We don't have tennis courts around, or we don't have this around, or I live in a small townhome that has a really small dog park, but we live maybe 20-30 minutes away. Here's a great resource,
Yep.
Yeah.
especially if the
I
dogs
have
like the
people
car.
come from up to an hour away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
I mean, it's and speaking of all of those functions for taking one of the rescues out of the actual off the rescue property, and I mean, I know Greenmore, it's a beautiful property. Some rescues don't have the same amount of space,
correct.
hmm.
but in general, they're all quite stimulating. And so even if a dog is used to that environment, getting them out to the quiet, letting them have some active decompression, which is movement. I mean, sometimes
Hmm.
people go for a run when they need to decompress. That's what active decompression is versus passive decompression when we're actually
Hmm.
resting and chewing and licking and foraging and just chilling out. But being able to do both of those things in this space away from the stimulation of the rescue environment and connect with a human one on one and kind of have there's so many functions I think that the playground environment can play when it comes to really benefiting just the dog on the whole. I mean, just giving
Hmm.
them that opportunity that doesn't come very often, unfortunately,
Right.
because
Yeah.
we all only have so much time and there's so many rescue animals out there. And so
And
when
there's
we,
actually a lot of
Hmm.
rescues that don't have brick and mortar. So like
yeah,
you
Yeah.
said, you've got, you have people that it's a foster base,
yep,
Hmm.
and so I think y- people don't, and even if you're a foster and you don't have a fenced
yes,
in location,
yep,
and you
Yeah.
want to use this, that is something that's huge. And,
Hmm.
I think, and Karen's going to touch upon how else it's being
yep,
used. if you have a litter of puppies, maybe you start once they're all, ready
Yep.
to go out and play,
Hmm.
in this very clean environment. I have to reiterate that again.
Yes.
That a safe, clean environment for them to play, and they get adopted, then you say, hey, listen, here's pictures from their first time.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Listen, let's get these adopters together again and have a first birthday party.
Karen is itching.
Go,
Yeah.
Karen. Yeah,
We have lots of we've had Creekside Aussies has their and have they've had an annual birthday party there. They've had a Halloween party there, and they
I
had one
love
in March. I forget what it was for, but yeah, I've had quite a few parties there. And that, you rent the space for as long as you want, for
Yeah.
as many hours as you want. And that the one party they had 40 dogs there.
Oh my
Now they
it.
gosh.
they backed
God.
it back down to 20 this past one, but yeah, and they're all those Aussies. Watching those Aussies. Oh, I have herding balls out there,
Oh,
and
that's
you'd be
fun.
surprised at the dogs that
Oh,
that
wow.
do those and that. So, but yeah,
That's
a
fun.
lot of people have parties, birthday parties, just parties and that there. So it's
So
kind
many
of
fun
cool.
functions that the playground is
Yeah,
serving.
yeah. There's a couple that have had litters that they invite the litters back and they all come
I love
at
that.
once and
I
that.
love that.
So
And I mean,
yeah.
adopters reach out a lot, actually. And,
Yeah.
even when they come to adopt, they'll say, how many are left in the litter?
Mm-hmm.
Are they local? The
Yep.
ones that have gone, and, how has anybody done the DNA? And then, but it spirals into, I wonder if we could get together with,
Yeah.
the
Yep.
siblings. And
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to have a place and a location to be able to do that, as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to for a walk, or having, a nice neutral place too. It's not at somebody's
Yes.
Right?
house,
Yep.
Yep.
which can cause its own little thing. And plus,
Oh
you
yeah.
got people,
Yep.
all people coming over. You don't want 40 people with 40 dogs coming to
Right?
Yeah.
your house. I don't
Yep.
even have that
Yeah.
many family members coming to my house for a party sometimes. So,
Let alone and dogs.
Let alone and
yeah.
dogs. I mean, well, and then the issues that come with having dogs share space inside versus outside, there's
Yes.
tension
But
there. And yep.
and what a great place to bring your puppy to socialize. There's so many things to climb on, to inspect, that they can just
Well,
do
Yep.
off leash if
and
they
they're
want.
allowed to. It's
Yes.
okay to. Like, you
Yeah.
can do
Yes.
it here.
Hmm.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can just be a dog. It's
Yeah.
it's a
I had,
gem. It is a
well,
gem.
and I had a little scenery thing set up for pictures for different holidays also. And Sigrid, as a matter of fact, said, sorry, Sky ate some of your corn stalks. I don't care.
We'll get more.
Yeah. And then one dog was chewing on a pumpkin. Yeah, hey,
That's what
it's what they
happens.
do. It's what they do.
They do. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
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 I get a
that even that, I mean, you have a photo opportunity
yes.
without the stress of crowds of, like, if we say winter pictures with Santa or
Yep.
something.
Hmm.
You have, when you have a photo op setup that they can do privately.
Yeah.
What a wonderful way to get a picture of your dog without putting them through the stress of crowds and other dogs and a strange person in a costume or who knows
Hmm.
what else. And everyone has a good time with it. I mean,
Hmm.
what a great
Yeah.
idea.
I was always slightly jealous of, the people that would go to the mall and bring their dogs. And I was like, Murphy would lose his ever-loving mind if and not even like loses, he would shut down. He would, and which
Hmm.
is, I don't know what's worse, but
Yeah.
the just for my pleasure of him sitting like in a
Right?
cute location, um,
Yeah.
but just knowing that there are places to go and you can still experience this, and your dog can, and you're not putting any pressure on
No.
Hmm.
him to do anything special. There's no,
Yeah.
wear costumes or anything.
No.
It's
Yep.
a natural environment with
Yep.
a little extra something. But, I think that people having a dog who is sensitive, slightly fearful, reactive, we are our own niche, I think,
Yep.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And we
Hmm.
feel sometimes we feel left out.
Yep.
And I feel, that it's hard. It's not an easy lifestyle.
Yeah.
But having locations like this, you feel like you're part of, your dog's life. You can
Mhm.
still experience things with your dog,
Yeah.
and you don't have to put anybody through the stress, and you can do it for, I mean, a minimal cost. It's an
hmm
amazing location. And I mean, Karen, did Jamie mention it was a gem?
I
Yeah.
know, right? I like
Well,
this place.
It's a diamond in the rough. I mean,
there you go.
I think that everybody wants to be able to do things with their dogs. And
hmm
when, I never like to say that our dogs put limitations on us. By no stretch am I ever going to say that, because I love the dog that's in front of me. I work with the dog that's in front of me at all
hmm
times. And knowing that there are places that I can go
Yeah.
and
hmm
bring him and bring them and know that they're safe, happy, I'm stress free, and they're going to come
hmm
home and they're going to fall asleep, decompress, and have really happy dreams.
Yep.
Yeah.
What more could I
hmm
ask for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, this year, Riley's Run Produce is going to let me borrow their sleigh for winter pictures. I put
That's
lights on
fun.
it, and
So
some
much
people
fun.
come do it during the day, but you can come at night. I put a spotlight on it. So,
That's so much fun.
so
Are you
yeah.
going to dress up as Santa?
Well, my
No.
dogs don't even like
People, please
Santa.
don't
Yeah.
do that. Don't worry about that. Santa is not involved.
You know what?
Yeah.
You need to just hang a beard off of the sleigh.
And
So it's
somebody
like
could
he's
use it.
kind of present. He's kind of
Yep.
present, but he's just not.
Not here. He's
Yeah.
not.
hmm So,
Unassuming. He's present.
yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about, because I know we're reaching the end of our show here a little bit, but I want to make sure that we talk a little bit about how people can reserve a spot, where to go,
hmm
and what they need to do so that they can utilize this gem as well.
You you can go to Karen Barlow's dogtraining.com and go to KB's K9 Playground, and you can just follow the directions right on there to
Great.
reserve your spot. And we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary, so we're going to be having specials run from like November 17th through January 4th.
That's
So it'll be
awesome.
the 2-year anniversary and the holiday specials. So it'll be special pricing for those 2 months.
This
And
is
people
good
take advantage
timing.
of it. It is an Indian summer. It's going to
Oh
be
my
Yes.
80
gosh.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
November means nothing. December means nothing. January means
Mhm.
nothing. You
I
have
get a
to
lot of
go.
people like when it's a good day, all of a sudden you'll see the bookings just start
Yep.
booking that day and
Yep.
stuff. So
Well,
which
and we've
makes it
had
nice.
not, we've had really mild winters, so we've been
Yes.
able to really take
hmm
advantage of
hmm
outside time, kind of when usually it would be 10 inches of snow, at
Yeah.
least what I remember a
hmm
long time ago. It
Yeah.
just doesn't seem to be like that anymore.
hmm
But
Very
yeah,
sad.
it is. I
hmm
know we bought a snowblower and we've almost never used it in like 5 years. It's crazy. But it is what it is. So
hmm
I think that that's wonderful. So I am going to put the website in
Okay.
the show notes so that people can just go to the link there in the
hmm
website. Um, and hopefully we've inspired a few people to take their
Yeah.
dogs and try something new that we're all, I think, fairly certain you're gonna love.
Yeah.
Dog's gonna
Yep.
love it.
Yeah, your dog will anyway.
Yeah, your dog will. Well, I
So
loved this. I loved this. It's something that this area needed for a really long time.
yeah.
And I think the
hmm
people who know about it love it. And
hmm
it's funny though, because every time I was just on one of the local message boards, um, I think it was actually this morning, and someone asked about are there any clean dog parks in the area or something. And someone mentioned KB's Canine Playground. And the person responded, "What's that? I've never heard of that." I jumped all
Oh,
over
good.
it. And I was like, "Oh, well, let me just tell you." And I gave her the link. But I get that all the time. What is that? What's that? I've
hmm
never heard of
hmm
that. And so just getting the word out that
Yeah.
it's something for everybody is
hmm
is really, I think it's a good,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Come enjoy it. Your dog will.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for another wonderful episode. And this one, I think, again, is near and dear to my heart because it's a local thing. It's something, again, it's a
Hmm.
resource that anyone in this area can benefit from, or, if they're willing to drive.
When you have word of mouth recommendations, you know the KB's is top notch.
Yeah.
KB's is like the place to be.
There you go.
She's got a little jingle. She's got the jingle
Oh,
for you,
She's
Karen.
got the jingles going on.
all the
She does
tingles,
have
ladies, all the
jingles.
tingles. It's my side job, I guess. All right. Well, until next time, as always, we want to make sure that you never forget to tell your dog we said hi, and we will see you next time. Take care.
All right. See
Bye.
ya. Okay.